Hello, guys. Welcome to lesson one of our new English project where we're going to be writing a story. And the story is based on a scary adventure story which is called Killer Corn. And there's a picture there from the story. So the first thing you are going to do, you're going to hear me read that story. So I would like you just to sit back and listen to me read the story, and then afterwards I'll explain what we're doing in this lesson. Killer Corn. Come on, Fred, called Megan, excitement sparking in her sapphire eyes. As the siblings trudged through the gloomy forest, Fred's heart sank. His younger sister had begged him to bring her to the woodland after reading a legend about a unicorn spotted there. Finally, several irritating days of whining and pleading later, he yielded. Now, as night threw its shadowy cloak upon the world, Fred questioned the wisdom of his decision. "Hurry up, Fred," she called. "I'm coming," he shouted back in a frustrated voice. Soon after, they stepped into a glade. From above, the moon bathed everything in a ghostly silver light. Small creatures rustled in the undergrowth, and nearby a solitary owl hooted eerily. Like furry spitfires, bats swooped and swerved as they hunted nocturnal insects, squeaking in delight. The unpleasant odour of decaying leaves hung on the air. "The book said the unicorn appeared right about here," announced Megan in a hushed tone. "Yeah, and Snow White was riding on its back," Fred sighed, rolling his eyes. "What did you say?" asked Megan, as she examined the grass for hoof prints. "Nothing," grumbled Fred. Suddenly, some nearby shrubs began to shake. Then, the unmistakable sound of a horse's neighing echoed amid the night. In response, Megan's features became more animated as she scanned the darkness in anticipation. "A unicorn! The legend is true," she shouted, eyes brimming with hope. Just then, a creature emerged from the greenery and stopped behind the excited girl. Fred's eyes widened in horror. His sister was correct. It was a unicorn, yet this terrifying beast was unlike anything he'd ever seen. With a coat the colour of midnight, it was a powerful stallion. Its malevolent red eyes burned like the fires of hell. However, it was the twisted horn which sent a shiver down the boy's spine. It was razor sharp and dripping with fresh blood. Noticing the colour drain from her brother's face, Megan was baffled. Slowly, she turned around and saw the unicorn. A cold knot formed in the pit of her stomach as she let out an ear-piercing scream. "Run, Megan, this way, quick," Fred bellowed. Without hesitating, Fred grabbed Megan's arm and dragged her away. Hearts pounding, they shot off into the trees. Behind them, the horrific animal let out a blood-curdling neigh and lowered its horn. Then it bolted after them. Running like the wind, the petrified pair fled through the forest. Meanwhile, the thundering of hooves grew steadily closer. With a sinking feeling, Fred realized it would catch them, and soon. Just then, they arrived at a fast-flowing river. Mustering every ounce of strength, Fred picked up his sister and launched her across the water to the other side. Although she was wet and muddy, she hauled herself up the river bank to safety. "Leave me! Go!" he screamed at the top of his lungs. Suddenly, the monster appeared. Snorting loudly, its blazing eyes fixed on Fred, he gulped hard. "Come on, then! What are you waiting for? Come and get me!" he yelled, waving his arms in the air. Lowering its dagger-like horn, the unicorn gave a mighty neigh and charged. However, just before he was skewered like kebab meat, Fred grabbed an overhanging branch and heaved himself upwards. Unable to stop in time, the brute crashed into the river, screeching in anguish. It was washed away by the powerful current. "I think you should ditch unicorns, Meg. How about mermaids instead?" asked Fred, utterly exhausted. Eyes wide, Megan regarded her brother in awe. Okay, so you just heard me read the story of Killer Corn, and the LO today is I can look up unfamiliar vocabulary using a dictionary. So that word unfamiliar means you don't know the word. It's a new word you've never seen before. Or maybe you've seen it, you don't know what it means, or you're not sure. So here are the instructions for this lesson. Number one, you are going to re-watch me read the story. And each time you come to an unfamiliar word, write it down. Or you can go into Google Classrooms and the story is actually there as one sheet. So if you want to just read it yourself, you can do that. There's a choice. Number two, you're going to search for unfamiliar words. So you've been writing them down as I read the story, or you read the story yourself and you write them down. You are then going to look up in a dictionary. You can use an online dictionary. You're going to look up each word, then write it down with the definition. And look, I've done an example. Just imagine someone didn't know what gun meant. Gun, I put a colon, a weapon which fires bullets. So that would be the definition from the dictionary. Number four, you only need to do 10 words max. You don't need to do any more than that. If you want to, of course, that would be wonderful. But I am looking for the LO written down in your book with the words, the new words and their definitions. So I'll look forward to seeing that, and then we can go through the story and look at those unfamiliar words in lesson 2. Thanks for watching.